Welcome to Angelo's Tennis Stories. And this is going to be another good one. They're all good ones. Check out my playlist Tennis Stories where I reveal all kinds of stuff about my life in the tennis industry. And this one I was working. I was working at the big commercial club and I was accused of stealing. Now, I'll tell you right now, I didn't steal anything. But here's how it went down. Now, I will admit this. I was, as I said, if you watch my other stories, if you watched any of them, I was using court time to get better. I had the key to the place. I was the closer. And I upset this guy. I upset this tennis manager. So much so that instead of just being straight with me, he accused me of stealing. He told the upper management that I was that someone stole and etc. etc. And then he claimed to his words, exact words were, "Go to bat for me." And then we had a little meeting, and that was it. I don't even know what happened. All I know is I was no longer permitted to have the key and work for this company, but I could be an independent contractor. And this is actually how I got forced. I got forced into being a tennis pro because this guy didn't want me to be the desk. This is what these people do. If you don't know this, this is what a lot of people do. They can't just be upfront with you and be like, "Hey, I don't want you to be a desk attendant anymore. I want you to be a tennis pro or a tennis instructor. And here's what we're gonna." It's just like if you're working at a job, and they might say, "Well, I don't want you to. We don't like you in this position, so we're gonna move you to this position." They don't do that. They finagle things around, and they just you end up there, and you don't know how. These are dishonest people. That's what they are. They're dishonest people. They're dishonest with themselves. They're fearful, and I could say a lot more. I'm gonna restrain myself. But this guy, he was known to be a little bit like this, and yeah. So I was, you had to put the money in the safe at the end of the night. There was no money. There's no money in this place. It was broke. They don't make any money. It's all contracts. So there's no cash. But anyway, you put the cash in the safe, and then apparently the cash was left on top of the safe, and then it was stolen by either me, the manager, or the head pro. That's all. The only three it could be. Okay, and it wasn't me. So it was either the head pro or the manager. And more likely than not, it wasn't the head pro. So it was the manager. It was the manager who took the money, pocketed it. He pocketed the money. He was known to play with the money anyway. Took the money, and then he reported that the money was gone, and then it came down to me. And if you ever talk to these human resources people, I could go on and on and on about human resources people. They just, it's not just human resources people. But it's they these people they find these people. I don't know how they find them. They sniff them out, these order followers. And she was not, let's just say she wasn't too bright, and she was very aggressive. And I remember my friend was there with me. It was a 3-person meeting. Actually, it was a 4-person meeting because the manager was there. And yeah, he was sticking up for me, as he said after he set this whole thing up. And the thing I want to point out about this is people in tennis. It's not just tennis. It's life. This is what people do. There are people like this in all walks of life. It's at least 50% of them. It isn't like it's not the minority. Anyone put in certain situations, if they want to get something done, they will find a way to do it, and more likely than not, they won't confront you head on. Now, as far as the tennis goes, why was this a big deal for me? Because you think, oh, well, you're getting kind of like pushed in the right direction to what you should be doing anyway. Well, the reason is this: at this particular club, you cannot be a full-time tennis professional. There's only two. Because of the court space, there's only two that can get full-time hours. So You could potentially, though, be a desk attendant and then also run their programs and then also do your own thing on the side. That would probably accumulate to full-time hours and you'd at least have a full-time job. But again, this wasn't in the program. This was not permitted by the tennis manager. This is also why this didn't go, why this didn't go down. So in my tennis career, this is also another reason why I struggled to go full time. That could have been that could have been a contented position. Even to this day, I could still, who knows, maybe I'd be content in my full-time tennis pro position, which to this day does not exist at this place. It's still run the same way by different people. They do not permit what I just described to happen. Now, this isn't the first, or I shouldn't say this isn't the last time that I was accused of stealing. I also was a high school, at one point, I was both a high school tennis coach and an assistant coach. And when I was an assistant coach, it was my first gig as an assistant coach. And this guy was pretty well known in the area. And I was assistant coach for the girls. And we had this nice little shed with a little ball machine and all the equipment and things like that. And I was actually I was accused of stealing equipment. There was a net missing of some sort, and I was accused of stealing. And then I think to this day they still think I did it. If you ask them, they really do think that I stole this thing. And again, it's one of those situations. Who has the key? Who has a key? Me and the head coach. That's it. So if it's not the head coach, then it was me. And it could have been a lot of people. A lot of people had access to that, but it came down to me. And that was it. That was the end of my coaching career at that high school because someone wanted me out of there. And I'll tell you why they wanted me out of there. Because there was a point where I had access to the funds, the couple $100 that the team had in a little bank account or a little fund. And I took the girls out. I took the girls out for ice cream because, at that time, I was a little naive Angelo, and I remember going out for ice cream after the baseball games, and that's just what I just did what I did when I was younger, like most people. And I took these girls out to an ice cream shop that I was friends with, the manager, the owner, and I took them there because I kind of wanted to hang out there anyway. And like I said, I had friends that worked there. I knew the owner, etc. And that was apparently you can't do that. And man, these people freaked. They freaked over $100. And I mean, looking back on it now, it's like you can't do this. I'm like, I'll give you the $100. You want the $100? I'll give it back to you. It's $100. And I think I even said that. No, you can't do that. You're wrong. You're a bad person. You shouldn't have done that. And we need to get rid of you because that's some kind of dark, demonic thing to do. And that's what happened. And again, they can't just tell you outright that they're going to get rid of you. Why? Because they're not allowed to do that. You technically didn't do anything wrong. And even if you want to fix it, you can fix it. Here's $100. Done. It's over. I fixed it. They just, I don't know what goes through these people's minds, but that was it. That was the end of Angelo's. I did go on to coach another high school team, which I'll get into in another story possibly, and there's more to be said about this person and this team and high school coaching, etc. So I'll leave that for another tennis story, and I hope you enjoy this and have a great day.